You are now entering what can only be described as a true free speech zone, where nothing is off limits and there is absolutely no censorship. Welcome to Open Mic with Boog Brand.
No audio.
I did it again. Here we are. Audio.
Alrighty.
We're back. That's only the second time I've done that. So, 4 episodes in, I think we're doing pretty good. 50% on the start. So, just go through them again. Operator Tony with the first. I think he was first like 4 days ago. I gotta start doing these, launching these up the very, very same day, I think, make it a little harder for these guys. But, Mario, Mechanic Molina, Empty Head Gamer, Mark Spivey in the house. Pretty much everybody that's here right now. Scott Pig was in here. Thanks everybody for stopping by. This is our 4th episode. Obviously, everybody here knows who you are, Mark. Fit and Fire, Instagram, Fit and Fire Fit and Fire. Also your website, fitandfire.com. And of course, YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. How's it going, man? Oh, we're good, man. It is Friday. I have some whiskey right here that I have been wanting to get my hands on for a very, very long time. I had a bottle of it and loved it and couldn't find it afterwards, and took a quick trip to Missouri a couple weeks ago and just so happened to find it in a Walmart. And I'm like, so yeah, things are good.
Oh yeah, look like Tony says he's under a tornado warning, so I guess we're doing better than him.
Right on. That's
Tony.
always,
If Tony is under a tornado warning now till 8:30, it's probably heading my way in the next 6 hours. So as long as we keep it short, we're gonna be good.
Yeah, we're good. Tornado warning where I'm from is called for a good time, man. You just go out onto the porch and watch things how it happens, man.
That's pretty much how it is around here too. Unless you're in the trailer park, then you run and hide.
yeah, for sure.
I wish it was a joke, but it's seriously, it's crazy how tornadoes literally tear through trailer parks. I don't know if it's just where people put them or just horribly bad luck.
I think it's a little bit of both.
So, Sony, don't get blown away. That's what Empty Head Gamer says. Anyways, looks like Mario's hitting you up. He thinks you're that guy with the G2C. From what I hear, it's not the G2C anymore.
It is not the G2C. Here is a Fit and Fire exclusive right on here on Boog Brands.
It's okay. We're pretty bland too. So
bland. No speech impediment. I bought a Taurus G3C today. FML.
Yeah, oh my God! Get an F in the chat for him, so we'll see if that one gets out there.
Yeah, man, freaking give me an F, guys. I can't believe that I actually bought it, but I was looking at it, and to be frankly honest with you, just dry firing it, I can see the improvements that they've already made, and yeah, so I'm. My skin's crawling right now at the fact that I bought one, but yeah. And unfortunately, weirdest thing ever, never happened to me before. I actually wasn't able to bring it home because when I went to the shop to pick it up, they had me fill out one of the brand new 4473s. Those were a little, those confused me a little bit. It's basically the same thing, just they've just moved things around a little bit.
Right.
And I know.
Did you identify? Did you identify as attack helicopter?
No, I identified as non-binary polyamorous. So
perfect.
We'll go with that. But they started to run my background in the state of Kansas. If I had if I have a concealed carry license, I don't have to do a NICS background check.
Mm-hmm.
I just fill out the 4473 and I'm good to go. But unfortunately, because of how 2020 has gone for me personally, I've let my CCL lapse. It's expired.
Oops.
Now, Kansas gives you the opportunity of a 6 month, grace period to renew. Now that I'm in,
I suppose, yeah, you moved twice this year.
I did. I moved
So
twice in
so
less than
yeah,
6 months. Yeah,
trying to go through that paperwork, get that processed. I can
yeah.
imagine that's why you're let it go.
I did let it slide. And in the state of Kansas, I don't need it to carry, but I do need it to carry. Like I go to Missouri every once in a while, once every other month or so, and now it's going to be a little bit more often, I think, with the crew that I'm starting to hang out with. So, yeah, I let it lapse. Well, so I had to actually go through the background check, and either NICS was down or their system was messed up. So I didn't actually get the opportunity to bring it home. However, they just had me put it on layaway, and they says come back tomorrow morning, and everything should be good to go, and we'll get it to you. So yeah,
Nice.
yep. So I know, Mario. Thank you. I still love you too.
So that's definitely interesting, hearing that. But at least it was available. Around me, there's nothing available unless you want a Sky or a car. You could probably get a car 45 pretty easily. I mean, getting the ammo for it's going to be a pain in the ass, but
yeah,
cars and Skies, they're in stock everywhere. You want a 365, you're on a waiting list for 2 to 6 weeks, and you're lucky if you get it when it comes in. You're lucky.
Yeah, and the shop here, it's American Cash and Pawn. It's actually a pretty good group of guys there, and they actually had 2 G3Cs. They had 1 G2C. They had several Skies to include the new one with the red dot on it, and the improved trigger. So I actually thought about picking one of those up, and I actually may do that and do a comparison.
An improved trigger in a Sky is basically like saying, "Hey, we didn't run this one through the sandblaster."
Yeah, and we made the springs not so springy, right?
Right.
I can remember the first time I ever shot one of the CPXs. Was it CPX? Yeah, CPX2, and the poundage on that trigger was ridiculous. I mean, it is a true double actions trigger.
It's a 12-pound trigger out of the box or something like that.
Yeah, it's something crazy. But the new ones will. I tested one out. I dry fired one at SHOT Show, and it seemed pretty good. I mean, it was still heavy. So I'm thinking probably 8 or 9, but it's still better.
Yeah, 8 or 9 is way better than 12, especially when you're trying to pull that first one off.
Yeah. So the let's see, what else did they have? They had a Canik TP9 SFX Elite, and I thought about picking up, and it was pretty decently priced. It was like $425 or something to that effect.
Yeah,
and I thought about picking one of those up too, but I was like, man,
don't want to make Mario too happy.
Right. I think what I'm hoping to do is I'm hoping to get my hands on an IWI Masada, and I thought about doing a comparison of an IWI Masada and a TP9 SF. Yeah, the Canik TP9 SF, just the base model, because those run about $369, and then the Masadas run about $399. So it's I think
you're thinking of the. It's so messed up with the Canik, but it's the SFX is the long one. Mm-hmm. So that's the full frame. It's the extended frame technically.
Right.
It'd be like similar to the Glock 34. The SF itself is a full frame, so that's closer to the 17.
Okay.
And then I think it's I'm not familiar with it, but it's a little bit. Oh man, I can't think of it, but it's like the SF. man, their nomenclature sucks.
Yeah. And then they have the elites, and then they have the one elites, and I mean, it's just they're all over the place. It's just all over the place.
I can't complain about mine. I've probably got at this point close to 1,000 rounds through it. I've never had a malfunction. Never cleaned it. I've done maintenance checks on it just because it was brand new, but other than that, it's been solid for me. So
yeah. So if you guys hear some clicking, my German Shepherd's walking around nervously. So sorry about
nails trimmed.
I don't know if I can trim her nails any shorter than what they already are, because the quickening is quickening. I don't know what it is, but right,
pretty close to the tips.
Yeah, it's pretty close to the tips. I take her on walks all the time, and so they're pretty low. It's just, I don't know, the flooring in this house, I guess.
Well, you got a house, right?
I got a house. Yeah, I'm out of my apartment. I had an apartment for a little bit, and that seemed to be like a good idea at the time. And then about 3 weeks into moving into the apartment, I was like, oh, this is ridiculous. I'm living on top of myself,
Right.
I just got way too much stuff. And even with this house, it's a pretty good size house. I'm still trying to figure out the storage in the house, and I have a storage unit that I was like, oh, I'll get this house and I'll be able to clear out that storage unit. Nope.
Yeah, that's how you do, though. You'll never get it right. I mean, I think I've been into the house I'm in now for just over, we moved in January of last year. I've still got boxes. I don't even, it's like at this point, I haven't opened them. Do I really need them? So I'm half tempted to just throw them out, but now I'm curious. I'm building a new office and I moved all the stuff, and I'm like, I'm curious what's actually in it. But if I open it, I might keep it. And I'm like, I haven't needed it, so why?
Yeah, right. And that's my problem. I become emotionally attached to things that I shouldn't be emotionally attached to. Like, I've got a tough box full of my old Army uniforms and stuff that I got while I was in Afghanistan. While you're in Afghanistan or in Iraq, you are able to, the Army basically gives you, like, I don't know, something like $80 a month. And then you can use that money to purchase new uniforms or new T-shirts or socks or underwear or, glasses or, gloves or whatever you need. And so I just bought T-shirts and socks every single time that came around. It was every month. And I ended up with like packages of T-shirts and socks that I've never even opened, And I don't even get rid of it. It just stays there. It's like,
right.
Why?
Right. It's stupid. Like, I've gone to a new method in the house now, and it's crazy for me because I've got two kids. I've got one that's 1 and I've got one that's 3. They're gonna be 3 in October. So it's been absolutely insane. But my general rule is if I find something laying on the ground that's not supposed to be there, I'll pick it up and move it. If it's where I moved it to in 3 days, I move it to the garage. If it's still there in a week, I move it to the basement. If it's in the basement in 3 months, I'm throwing it out.
That's good. That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
It's good idea. Usually nothing ever makes it past the first move.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So, all right. So we got the news on, let's see, we've talked about the house. We've talked about my new pistol. And then I also picked up a new rifle as well. Now, I'm not sure with how the Rona has screwed everything up, but if you guys aren't following Mr. Guns and Gear on Facebook or Instagram, you definitely need to do that, because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have been able to pick up this lower receiver. He posted an ad from Primary Arms, and when I looked it up, it was a BCM completed lower Mod 0 for something crazy like $375. And I was like, yep, I'm getting that, completed lower with buttstock, everything. So I jumped right on top of that. And I've been watching Primary Arms' website, and it's still in the quote unquote fulfillment stage. So we'll see how long it takes to get that. So once I bought that, I naturally went over to BCM's website and like, well, if I got a lower, I got to get an upper. So I went and bought a BCM. Oh, what is it? Trying to think of their nomenclature because it's so different than anything else. Let's see here. I've got it written down right here. Yeah, it's the BCM Mark II 16.
MK2.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that. It'll go real nicely with the video that I did, why you don't need a BCM, talking about, trying to keep things budget minded, and go from there, and just say, okay, so here's the great thing I can do is I can take the rifle that I use for that video, why you don't need a BCM, and I can compare it to a BCM and say, okay, right. here's why you don't need one, and here's why you would want one,
Right,
so.
Right. I've always been torn about the high cost versus low cost. When it comes to a standard, just say infantry rifle, something 16-inch, 223, 5.56, 300 blackout, something like that. It's crazy to me to spend that much money when, but if you're talking about reaching out 200-300 yards, past that 600 yards, now you're talking, you need something that's been clean, that's done right. I understand the cost with long range, but there's a lot of people who swear by the shorter, the BCMs, what was it a couple years ago? Everybody wanted their piston driven,
the Adam's arms or whatever.
Yeah. Everybody wanted that, and they just plagued with issues to start. I'm sure they run good in most circumstances, and let's be honest, most people aren't running their guns as hard as their guns are meant to be run in the first place.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they're putting them in a safe, and then if I get to the range this month, I'm going to use it.
Yeah. I've actually here recently met a couple gun owners, and I've talked to them about, how many times you go to the range and this and that and the other. And one person's like, I've got this pistol. I only have this one pistol, and I've shot one magazine out of it. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, how long have you had it? About 8 months. And I'm like, whoa, okay.
Yeah.
Do you have any ammunition at home? Nope. No, I just buy a box when I go to the range. I'm like, gosh, this is so foreign. Well, it's not foreign to me because that's how I was when I bought my first pistol. So,
it's different when you're, I'll say this, like, my wife wasn't raised in and around guns, so it's a lot different for her than it is for, say, me, who's been around it my entire life. So it's not uncommon for me to see, when I was growing up, to see Ziploc baggies full of 7.62 by 39, just tossed in the bottom of the wood gun cabinet that basically you could pick with a, coat hanger and whatever. It wasn't secure at all. But, that's the glass front was what kept you away from the guns.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because earlier today, I don't know, maybe about 2 hours ago, I was walking into the grocery store and was just so happened to be looking through Instagram real quick, and Arsenal 616. That dude, he has some of the best memes ever, and it showed a small little baggie of about maybe, I don't know, half a dozen 9mm rounds, and it says dime bag 2020. It's like, yeah.
It's sad but true.
Yeah, it is.
You put 10 of them in a bag, and it's a $20 bill,
Yeah, it really is. I've been lucky. I have been really, really lucky with the ammunition shortage. In March, I bought about 1,500 rounds of 9mm, and I had some already left over from just my YouTube stuff. So I've been fortunate enough to have a somewhat surplus for what I need. 5.56 has been kind of the same as well. I was able to pick up 1,000 rounds from Lucky Gunner in, early April. and I ended up paying about 40 cents a round for those, but that's all right. I like Lucky Gunner, so I was happy to support them. And then at the beginning of the year, I picked up 1,000 rounds of 7.62 by 39, and that was the Golden Tiger stuff. So that was pretty good. And the Kami round is still fairly cheap, so I'm not really too concerned about that.
I look back to it, and it's like, it's always hindsight is 2020. It's like, man, 16 years ago, I sold an SKS with like 1,500 rounds of ammo for like $100. And it's like, now it's like, are you kidding me?
Mm-hmm.
The SKS goes for like $1,000. I mean, it was an all numbers matching Russian SKS.
Mm-hmm.
So, the damn thing would go to fly off the shelf for like $2,000 at this point, and then the ammo is worth even more. Come on.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it was good ammo too. It was non-corrosive, brass.
Oh wow, yeah.
The stuff that AKs drool over.
Well, it was about this time last year that I bought my first SKS, and why it took me so long to even pick one of those up, I have no idea. But I ended up having some kind of surplus cash, and I was like, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and picked it up, and that was not a bad decision. I mean, mine's a Chinese, what is it, Type 26 SKS, so it's got the spike bayonet. All the numbers are matching on it. I ended up paying close to $375 for it because I wanted to make sure I got a hand-selected one from Classic Firearms. And I know that a lot of people have, heartburn when it comes to Classic, but they've done me right, so,
I don't see any issue. I mean, if they do a decent job, they deliver.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not gouging. What's the difference? They're an American company for the most part, But, I was, unfortunately, for me, I was raised by many FUDs. So my first hunting rifle was a 30-30 lever action. So the SKS was my upgrade when I could buy my own gun. Hey, look at me! I'm gonna upgrade. So, I can honestly say I've taken my deer with the 30-30 lever action and an SKS, and that's the only thing I've actually shot deer with at this point.
Yeah.
Other than a
bow. Let's see. I think I've only shot one deer with the rifle ever, and that was with my what was it? Oh, Mossberg. It was a Mossberg Patriot. That's what it was. So, let's see, what caliber did I have that in? I think I had that in 270, and I didn't realize how big of a round 270 was. I was blown away when I first picked it up, and I, was like, oh, this is pretty nice. And then I went and got some ammunition for it, and I pulled it out of the box, and I was like, holy crap, this is almost like 30-06. And the deer that
tiny.
No, it's not. And then the deer that I shot was about 15 yards away. So there's just big old freaking gaping hole on its exit wound. So.
Yep. But you hit it.
Oh yeah. It didn't go anywhere. It dropped right in its tracks. So, yeah.
Yeah. That round is definitely one that'll catch you off guard, because if you're thinking about it, it's just a tiny little thing, and no, the shell, the projectile's tiny in comparison to the shell, but she'll go. So let's see. Let's just check in with the chat real quick. Dr. Catmilk says he had a coworker freak out that he runs steel case through his MK47. He says 1.5 MOA with Wolf poly. If you're getting 1.5 MOA with Wolf ammo, don't get rid of that gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
So any other updates? I know it's been a little while since we've seen a KCNC. Any plans to bring that back?
Yeah, I've been taking a step back from the live stuff just to make sure that I've got my routines down now that I'm in my new place. making sure that my house, my background, everything that I'm doing is set up the way that I want it before I get started again. And realistically, my videos has kind of got this background that I've got right now. Realistically, I'm not 100% happy with it. I think that there's other things that I can do, but we'll get to that eventually. I did actually pick up one other thing that I'm super excited about. It's in the mail right now. It's on its way, and that's a 1988 Ishmash AK-74 parts kit that I'm super excited for, because that kit is going to be what I take with me once I get the receiver and the barrel for it. And I'll purchase those separately, but I'm going to take that down to Arizona.
You send it to Fuller Phoenix?
Fuller Phoenix, yeah.
Nice.
As soon as they start opening up the build classes, I'm going to be in one of those classes to build my AK-74. Now the question is, how am I going to build it? Is it going to be kind of a AKM 74, clone, be very specific to that, or am I going to spruce it up? And I'm hoping to, I think I'm going to basically build it the way that I would want it. So if you guys don't follow Bandito Bill on Instagram, he posts some pretty awesome pictures, and his 74 is it's pretty freaking nice with the Zenico rails and everything else on it, man. It's freaking really, really nice. The problem is, if any of you guys follow what kits are going for right now, holy cow. I had an opportunity to buy a Bulgarian kit, and it was all matching virgin kit, never shot, it even had the barrel with it, and they wanted $1,600 for it, for just the kit. It has all the parts and everything, but it didn't have the receiver. And I just sitting there thinking to myself, and I was like, I cannot justify $1,600 on an incomplete rifle that I'm going to have to learn how to build, and I even DM'd Jim Fuller, I asked him, I said, hey, I've got two options here. What do I do? Option A, which is the Bulgarian with the barrel, or option B with the Izzy? And he's like, well, you should go with the option A with the Bulgarian and the barrel, because you've got the barrel. That's one less thing you have to worry about. Mm-hmm. And I was trying to be cheap about it, and was going to go ahead and start bidding on the auction. Well, I waited about 10 minutes too long. I forgot to set an alarm on my clock, and I brought it up, and boom, it sold. Someone just swooped in at, I don't know, about an hour before the auction closed and just did buy now. And I was like, oh man. So I went back
to stop that anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I could have just bought it now, right? When I had the opportunity, but I was trying to be a little cheap. So I ended up spending $13. I think with shipping, it ended up being $13.40 for that Izzy kit. And then you're going to spend another probably, I don't know, $100 on the receiver, and probably another $200 on the barrel. So right there, you're looking $1,600 just like that, So I should
look at it this way: you can do it different if you want. So if now you're talking about you're going to get a receiver, so you get a receiver that's registered as a pistol,
mm-hmm.
And then you can go short barrel AK-74U, side folder, whatever you want to do.
And it's funny. Mark's bringing up in the chat here. He says you need to talk to Brandon. I've already talked to Brandon, and I've got something else in store with Brandon. Hopefully that we can get together later on this year. But we'll see. We'll see how that happens. And I thought about doing the short barrel, doing a pistol or doing an SBR. I don't know if I want to do that though. I think one of the things that was brought up in this little chat group that I'm in on Instagram is everyone was saying basically run like a 12.5 or a 14.5, and you'll be good to go. Then just take, I think it was a 14.5, and then pin and weld a device on it, a muzzle device, and you're good to go. So, so that's what I may end up doing.
Yeah. I mean, it's your gun. You get to choose what you want to do with it. So.
Yeah, I know. And eventually everybody's going to be like, "Oh, that's stupid."
Yeah, well, everybody's an armchair quarterback, right?
Of course, yeah, naturally.
It's not what I would have done, so it's not right.
Exactly. So, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, because, like you said, it's exactly what I want to do, and I'm excited. I'm excited to see how an AK is put together. I mean, I have a basic understanding, but one of the things that I've never done before is mess with the trigger group, the fire control group. And I really want to better understand that, because maybe I want to upgrade my RH10 that I've got and put a ALG AK trigger in it. Well, as it stands right now, I don't know how to do that, and I don't want to mess my AK up trying to do it.
Well, the RH10 would probably be a good one to do it on. At least you can get another one.
Yeah.
Don't mess up the 74 parts kit.
Well, I tell you what, man, freaking a Wasser right now is going close to 1,000.
The prices on everything are going crazy, though.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, there's nothing out there that's safe as far as this goes. It's like, oh, I need this, and okay, well, now you're one of 20,000 people who need that. So welcome to supply and demand. Let's teach you capitalism.
Yeah, that's very, very true. It's unfortunate, though. It's unfortunate that a lot of people ended up waiting until now to wake up. And then on top of all of that, you've got Biden announcing that freaking Kamala Harris is going to be his running mate, and I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. This is
the advantage is it's basically like just push the entire party so far to the left that anybody who's to the right of them is basically secluded. And without getting too deep into the politics, I don't know how far deep you want to get into those. I mean, it's at this point, I don't see it as that big of a threat. Obviously, what they're pushing is a huge threat, but there's already this Democratic Party has already shot themselves so hard in the foot, and the political bias that they push every single day everywhere is just so ridiculous. It's not even funny.
Yeah.
I mean, they've actually done complete studies that like the right has not gone farther right. It's just the left has gone so far left that everybody seems like they've gone so different ways.
Yeah. Man, I'm trying to think of one of the political guys that I watch on YouTube. Tim, his thing is called
Pool.
Tim Pool. Yeah. And he goes by he does the
Timcast IRL.
Yeah. I tell you what, man, I've been watching him recently, and he almost sounds like a Trump supporting conservative now, and he's not. That's
right.
The crazy
it's crazy
thing.
to think about it. I mean, he is a born and bred liberal, and he admits it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but even then, if you look at it, and from the standpoint of what he considers a liberal, most conservatives are that. They just will not use the term for themselves. At the end of the day, we don't truly give a rat's ass about what you do with your life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As long as you don't affect me. Like, just let me do me, and we're going to be perfectly fine. I don't care if you're, you want to marry your cousin Joe. I don't care about any of that. But at the end of the day, it's your freedom to do whatever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the other things that I got into a conversation about here recently was with someone was they asked me what my political affiliation was, and I said, well, I'm libertarian. And they're like, oh, so you're basically a Republican who's too scared to say that you're a Republican. I'm like, F you. No, I'm a dude that doesn't care what you do with your life as long as you stay off my lawn. You know,
Right.
just freaking leave me alone. Allow me to have my freedoms. Allow me to live by the Constitution, and we'll be just fine. Right. So just leave me alone. I'll leave you alone. You do whatever you want to do as long as it doesn't hurt me, and we'll be fine.
Right, exactly. And I think a lot of people, I think me and Hypalexia touched this a little bit last week, where it's just conversation. People lack the ability to have a conversation at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you don't agree with anything I believe, all of a sudden, oh, I can't even have a conversation with you. I'm triggered.
Yeah.
And it's not, and I, everybody says, oh, well, you're just saying that because that's how the left portray, people portray the left. I'm not saying it about the left even. The right is the same damn way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
People on both sides are the exact same. It's like, oh, you're one of those. You're just a libtard, snowflake, blah, 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 blah. That's not a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
A conversation starts at the beginning without judging a person for what they want to believe.
That's a great point, because one of the things that I'm doing right now is I am helping two different people build their very first AR. And one of the two people is a far leftist minded individual. I'm not going to call them a libtard or anything like that, but they're I shouldn't even say far leftist. They're progressive, right? So I would say probably if you had a spectrum and middle is moderate and all the way to the left is far left, they're right in between, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know that here in the area that we had a few protests because of George Floyd's death. And they went out and protest, and that was fine. Okay, cool, whatever, do your thing. But one of the things that they did also was they carried a sign that said, let me get this right. They said, the sign says, "White silence is violence." And I'm just like, I didn't even get into it, but we've clashed in our ideology. We've sat down and we've actually had a very long conversation to include, the thought process of how deadly is Corona, how much of a pandemic is Corona right now, and we have very different perspectives on that.
Right, that's a very polarizing one right now too.
Oh yeah, and there's nothing that is going to be said one way or another when it comes to that topic. Another topic that we've had we've kind of danced around. We haven't really gotten into it hardcore yet, but one topic is Antifa. This individual supports Antifa, and I said, that is the hill that I will die on. I will lock my heels in the sand and will resist every aspect of Antifa until the last breath is out of my soul, because I do not support them one bit. Right. And we actually talked about it, and their perspective is like, oh, well, Antifa is just trying to fight the corporatism that America has fallen into, and this and that and the other. Is like,
see, and I think a lot of people are romanticized by an idea. So an ideology is really quick to romanticize somebody and really draw them in, and they don't actually take a look at what the people who are involved with the movement are actually doing. So they're not. Antifa as an idea is a great thing. I mean, what they've did, back in Germany when they first started and what they were trying to do, it was a great thing. I mean, they were really pushing back on the establishment and trying to, create a free place for people to actually be able to prosper.
Mm-hmm.
What they're doing now is not that. I mean,
no.
They're screaming that we fight the fascists and we're going against exactly what they're doing.
Yeah. Punch a Nazi in the face. Okay, sure. Punch a Nazi in the face. What is a Nazi?
Anything that doesn't agree with
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. And then you start seeing a lot of what's happening right now with all the protests and everything else that's going on. And I'm like, how is that? How can you support this? How can you support people walking up to a older woman's home, spray painting it, and then assaulting her? You know what they did. I think it was it in Minnesota? Was it in the suburbs of Minnesota or Oregon?
I
Oregon.
think that one was Oregon, yeah.
Yeah, it was in the suburbs of Portland.
And you could say that story happened pretty much anywhere, and at this point, it probably has. It's just not made news.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's
Nor
sickening
will.
it's sickening what's going on around this country right now and doesn't get told.
Mhm.
You know, and it's. I will say that there's both sides of it too, though. At the same time, like,
So
I understand that there's pushback from another side, and certain places aren't saying it because they don't want to push. They don't want to push a divide either, and the divide is already there.
Yeah.
I don't know if I said it last week or if I've said it in passing, but if you take and rip a branch off of a live tree, you can bend it and you can twist it, tie it up, do whatever you want to it for a little while.
Mhm.
Eventually, it's going to start drying out, and anything you do to it is going to start fracturing it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Well, back in March when they locked us up, they took that branch down.
Mhm.
They've been bending it, twisting it, pushing it, doing everything they can, and things are starting to dry out.
Yeah, it really is. And you're starting to see people freak out about it. And that was another conversation that we had when it came to the COVID aspect of it. And Dr. Catmilk in the chat room, he's got a great comment. He says, I can't wait for the self deletes from losing their jobs from COVID counts as a COVID death. And yeah, and that was kind of the conversation that we had as well. When you have something that, okay, we're in level 8 of Jumanji right now, or what I'd like to call August, right? And if you look at the death rates globally for COVID, where let's just say I'm not sure exactly where we're at right now, but I think the last time I looked, we were like at 640,000 globally. I think now we're probably pushing 700,000 now that we're into August. But if you look at the total deaths at the end of July, we'll call it 700,000, just to round it, get a nice round figure. And then you take other infectious diseases like tuberculosis. In 2019, tuberculosis killed 1.5 million people, and that has a cure. We've essentially not completely, but I would say probably about 90% eradication of tuberculosis within the United States, right? And globally, there's still 1.5 million people dying from it. So even if you were to take half that, 750,000, that's more deaths than there has been for COVID through the first half of this year. And the question I have is, where's the pandemic for tuberculosis?
Well, it's not even that. I mean, if you take a look, I mean, the numbers themselves are far surpassed by drunk driving deaths. People who get in an accident when they're drinking and driving and kill somebody. They're far greater than, the suicides are far greater than the COVID deaths. Just so many other things in this country kill people, but nobody's worried about them. Well, cancer kills more people every single year than COVID's going to probably do in the next 10. And regardless of what anybody believes, it's going to be around forever at this point.
And it really boils
down. People need to
move
past it. Like the swine flu came and went, right? That came and went. But SARS, the bird flu, that's been in China for over 18 years. MERS has been in the Middle East, where everybody said, the heat is going to take it out. MERS has been around for more than 10 years. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
We're going to have to learn to live with it. And all this scaremongering and fearmongering and politicizing of the virus isn't helping.
No. And that's been my biggest complaint with my friend, is that, the weaponizing politically of this is what I cannot stand, and it's funny because if you go back and watch The Dark Knight and listen to some of the things the Joker is saying, that little one-on-one that he has with with Two-Face, and he's like, if I was to tell you that a truck full of soldiers was going to get blown up, no one will bat an eye because it's part of the plan, you know?
Right.
And that's basically it. You talk about cancer, you talk about, I mean, shoot, malpractice kills 250,000 people a year. We haven't even hit that in the United States with COVID yet.
Right.
You have obesity, diabetes, you have all of these different things that end up being deaths for people basically neglecting their bodies and not living as healthy of a lifestyle as they could. You know, I'm not perfect. I had Five Guys for dinner just the other night because I don't know if you guys know, Five Guys burgers and fries is the best burger out there.
Just only if you order all the black, all the red.
Yeah.
You got to go crazy with it.
Yeah. So, but I'm not perfect, but at least I'm trying, you know, I'm trying to, stay healthy. My brother, he's type 1 diabetic, and it was just adult onset, boom, he just got it one day, and
Right.
No one really knows why. I kind of know why. He had a high stress job. He was in the Navy. He was in charge of his own shop as an E5. He should have been an E7. So he was very, very high stress situation. He didn't exercise as well. He drank like a fish. He didn't eat well, and his pancreas is just like, you know what? Screw you. I'm out.
Yeah.
That's
I know.
just my opinion. It may not even be that,
Well,
so
a lot of people, a lot of things, they happen. I mean, I'm not the model citizen here. I'm not perfect, obviously. I'm a pretty big dude. I try to stay active. I try to do what I can do. I buried myself in schoolwork and a bunch of other crap for way too long and let everything go to crap, and now here I am trying to walk back on that. And that's not easy. So, quick, Operator Tony says, Boog Brand, what is the discount code for my store? Right now, Tony, you don't need a discount code at all. Everything in my store is marked 20% off. So I'm literally on some items losing money, so that way you guys can just have fun. My lead times are down to absolutely normal at this point, so I want you guys to screw me up. So, like I said, I've never monetized my stream. If anybody ever wants to show any love to me or this stream, head over to Boog Brand, buy something cool. That's all I want. I'd rather make 50 cents and you guys walk around in a fucking awesome shirt than you guys send me anything. I do this just because I want to have some fun with some cool people, and Mark's one of those cool people that was willing to come on and say, hey. So,
Nah, I'm good. So I don't know about cool. I'm pretty dorky. As you can see right over there, I've got my little shrine
pop collection. Hey,
my pop collection of Mandalorian and Boba Fett stuff. So
there's nothing wrong with any of it. Everybody has fun. Everybody has their one thing.
Yeah. So I was talking about the friend that has different personality or different perspectives than I do. But the biggest thing is, while we don't have the ability to see things eye to eye, we've had the opportunity to sit down and have discussion and disagree and be okay with it. And then at the end of the day, this person came to me and said, I don't know anything about guns. But I've decided that I want an AR-15. Can you help me get an AR-15? I was like, yeah, sure. Now, this week I've spent probably way more time on the interwebs trying to find parts for an AR-15 than I have ever wanted to. And it's cost me way more, than I would have ever thought that I would spend. But at the end of the day, this person is going to now have a rifle to protect themselves and their family. And, we disagree on things, but at the end of the day, if they're able to have a tool to protect themselves, protect them family, know that they're going to use it correctly, and then look to get training as well, it's a win, so.
Right. I think that's one of the biggest the highlights that, I've taken from this is all these new gun owners. My local range, I was down there a couple weeks ago. I bought a new safe.
Short. Too short.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Hey guys, every little lady wants to say hi, so go ahead and say hi. She's too short to get into the screen, but say hi to everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Okay.
Hello.
All right.
The microphone covers my face.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry. There you
Yeah,
go.
they're cute at that age, right?
Oh yeah. She's a firecracker. She's got my chill, and she's got her mom's firecracker in her. So
Oh, that's good. And I see got her in karate too, so she's gonna be able to take care of herself. That's good.
yeah. And then she just started this week. She started volleyball. So yeah, she's gonna be pretty active, to say the least.
Yeah, that's good. Now, back to kind of what you were talking about, and being able to have that conversation, be able to be those people, and all these new gun owners and stuff. That's where I was going with it. Yeah, sorry, I walked myself back in.
That's good.
Going to the local range, talking. I went and bought a new safe. Had to get something to keep my guns and stuff away from the kids. It was that time for me, but talking to them, they've sold more safes in the last 3 to 6 months than they've sold in the last 3 years. And every single beginner's class that they post fills up instantly. So the people that are out here buying the guns, they're not just buying the guns, they're getting training too. And that's huge. I mean, to me, I think that's better even than them just going and getting the gun. It tells me, number one, that the used market for guns isn't going to drop out. So don't wait to buy what you want to buy. If you're looking for something used, it's probably not coming. But
it might. It very well might.
You're going to have a couple. You're going to have some, I'm sure. But
I'm thinking. I'm okay. I want to be positive. I'm trying to be positive. Positive vibes, everybody. The election's not going to go the way that we hope it won't. I think the election's going to go the way that we want it. Far be it that the current president is not an ally to the Second Amendment, but
yeah, he's not perfect, but he's a hell of a lot better than the opposition.
Correct. And if Trump wins the election, Corona goes away. I feel it in my heart. Corona just becomes a non-existent thing. Though something else will come up for them to focus on because they couldn't take him down with it. So that's number one. Number two is once that happens and people's like, oh, so Corona's not a thing anymore, the used market will get flooded.
Yeah,
that's my prediction.
I think they've done a lot of pushing. I think there's going to take a little time. I'm not as positive as you in that aspect, I guess. I think they've done a lot of damage between the people of the U.S. I think they've done a lot to interfere and take away from everybody's help. So, I got somebody coming in too.
There you go.
There you go. You want to come on?
No,
There you go. Hi. This is my little one. So she's about to turn 3. She's completely like, what is going on?
Look at that toe head. Oh man, that reminds me of my boy when he was little.
Right.
Just bleach blonde hair.
Yep. That's her. That's my son's got red hair on top of it. So he's blonde and red hair. You say hi?
That's awesome.
And she had to bring me some popcorn apparently. So.
Oh, good.
So it must be getting close to that time. I know I told you I didn't want to keep you too long.
We've been good. This has been good.
Yeah, it's been fun. Definitely, sometime in the future, maybe we'll do it again. You got some other things going on.
Yes.
I will.
And I will say to everybody that's in the chat room right now, keep calm and carry. We'll be back. I've taken a little bit of a hiatus to just make sure that I get my house set up, get some guests lined up. If you guys have any requests on people that you would like to see interviews of, please do not be afraid to send me a DM or an email. I'll do what I can to get it to make it happen for you guys. So,
yeah, definitely excited to see where you go from here. Only can go up. I think you are criminally undersubscribed at just over 25,000 at this point.
I've sat and watched, if you guys aren't watching Reno May, that dude, I love that dude. And he is just blown up. And he blew up because he took advantage of the Corona shutdown. And unfortunately, I was unable to do that. Had I been able to do that, I probably would have had a bit of a spike. But I'm happy. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm happy with what I'm doing. And one of these days, it'll pay off.
Yeah. You are just being a brat, aren't you? Oh yeah, so kids are great. I love them.
Yeah.
No, yeah, definitely. I think he's done some really good stuff. I think Reno is definitely on the come up. There's no doubt about that. And he's staying on top of the news too. I mean, even today, they had great news out of California with the lifting of the 30-round ban.
Yes.
So he threw that video. I mean, he threw a video up and together really quick, and then he went live afterwards. I mean, utilize what you got. So, I think that's been great, and I can't wait to see how fast he grows too. He's done some really good stuff. As far as anything else, I don't really have anything else for you tonight. I don't really have anything. Don't want to keep everybody else hanging up either.
Yeah, sure. Well, I've got the suppressor video. That's going to be the next one that's coming out. I've got an M17, the SIG P320 M17 video coming out. I'm going to do a comparison video with that M17. I've got another video on the G36 that's going to come out. Just showing a little bit more accuracy with that different style of rifle. And so I've got a couple different things in the hatch. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, sounds great. Like I said, I just can't wait to see what you got coming.
Yeah.
Next week, just so everybody knows, we've got Tyler, Tundra Tactical, coming on. So I know you're very familiar with him. Everybody in the chat pretty much is familiar with him. It's going to be an interesting show.
Well, I will definitely be there so I can freaking razz the heck out of him.
Damn right. We got to do that.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to keep him straight. I mean, I think out of everybody, like in his Discord, I definitely give him the most crap, I think.
Yeah.
So I gotta keep him level-headed. He's getting bigger. They just passed 50,000 subs, I think.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I was hoping that I was going to really push hard to catch up with him, but yeah.
I don't think you're far off. I think you got a good chance of catching up, if not pushing there.
Yeah.
I think you do some great content. You're right there. The difference is you're actually shooting.
That's true.
So I definitely look forward to see where you're going.
All right.
And Cat Max says Tundra Tactical. Guess Boog just jumped the shark. Not sure what you mean, Cat Milk, but probably did.
Well, it's been awesome, man. Thanks you so much for having me on.
No,
I really do appreciate it. Yeah.
I do appreciate it, and as well, if you're not already following Fit and Fire, get over to his YouTube channel, subscribe to him. Head over to FitN_Fire. It's up on the screen for his Instagram as well as fitandfire.com. I know he's got some stuff on there that you sell some parts, different things like that on there.
Yeah, if you guys are looking for something, swing on by. I try to save you guys money as much as I possibly can.
Right on. Appreciate all that. Appreciate your time, and I'll let you get back to doing what you do.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Take it easy.
All right. See you guys later.
Everybody have a great night. All right. We should